ice. Mom warned us not to go skating yet. The ice isn't thick enough, she said. It's dangerous. But what did she know about ice and lakes? She never went skating anymore. She'd tell us stories about how she used to love it as a kid. But now, she was always too busy with boring adult things like cooking, cleaning, and the never-ending laundry. So, we decided to sneak out. We'd only be gone a little while. She'd never even know. We waited until she was downstairs. Her focus buried in the mountain of clothes she had to wash before our relatives started arriving for Christmas. Ugh. I was dreading seeing them. Aunt June was always so critical and loud. Uncle Bob was obsessed with conspiracies. Aliens, government cover-ups, you name it. Then there were our cousins. They were spoiled brats who loved rubbing it in our faces that they had better toys and more money. They'd even break our toys on purpose, just to prove how cheap they were. Hosting Christmas was supposed to be special, but it felt more like a punishment. None of them liked ice skating. They'd call it silly and dangerous, especially on a frozen lake instead of at an indoor rink. What did they know? They all lived in the South, where it hardly ever snowed. Anyway, today might be our only chance to skate before the chaos of family descended on us. I wasn't going to miss it for anything. So, we snuck out. Once we were sure Mom was occupied, we bundled up in our thick winter coats, gloves, and hats. We grabbed our skates from the shed and hurried down the path to the lake. The ice looked perfect to me. There were even lines etched into it from where other kids had already been skating. I laughed and plopped down into the snow to put on my skates. My sister, Katie, did the same. "This is going to be awesome," Katie grinned. "I know. Mom doesn't get it. She worries too much," I replied, shaking my head. "Adults are so clueless," she agreed, rolling her eyes. She finished lacing up her skates first and took off onto the ice, gliding effortlessly. I quickly followed, my heart pounding with excitement. It was cold, but the sun was shining brightly, making everything sparkle. This was what winter was all about. We skated back and forth, racing each other and laughing as our skates sliced through the ice. The few minutes we planned to spend out there turned into half an hour, then an hour. We drifted further and further from the shore, chasing each other across the frozen expanse of the lake. Katie was always showing off, doing jumps and spins like she was an Olympic skater. I clapped and cheered for her, too happy to care that she was showing off. Then it happened. 1 second, Katie was midair, twirling with a huge smile on her face. The next, I heard a loud, echoing crack. It sounded like a gunshot. My heart stopped as I watched her fall. She didn't land on the ice. She disappeared through it. "Katie!" I screamed, racing to the spot where she had vanished. There was a gaping hole in the ice, and I could see her below the surface, thrashing in the frigid, dark water. Her eyes were wide with terror. "Katie, hold on," I shouted, my voice breaking. I dropped to my knees, reaching out for her, but the ice beneath me groaned and started to crack as well. I could see her trying to swim up, but her heavy winter clothes were dragging her down. She wasn't able to get to the surface. Her fingers clawed at the ice from underneath, her face pale I'm coming, I yelled, but I was already slipping. The ice splintered under my weight, and before I knew it, I was plunging into the freezing water. It felt like 1,000 needles stabbing into my skin. I gasped, but instead of air, I sucked in icy water. I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black. I tried to swim, but I couldn't tell which way was up. The cold stole all the strength from my limbs. I flailed, trying to find something to grab onto, but my hands just kept slipping against the slick, frozen surface. I could feel Katie's frantic movements nearby, but I couldn't reach her. My chest burned, desperate for air, but the freezing water was filling my lungs instead. I realized, with a sinking dread, that I couldn't make it to the surface. I couldn't save her. Everything started to go numb. I couldn't feel my fingers or toes. My vision began to blur, and spots of light danced before my eyes. I thought I heard Katie scream one last time, but it was muffled, like it was coming from far away. And then I heard nothing but the creaking and groaning of the ice above me. I had one final, clear thought before everything went black. Mom was right. The ice was too thin. We just realized it too late. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next ones. With love, Lady Terror.